Hey, welcome to Plan Create Post on Instagram. I'm Nika, a teacher by trade, a content marketer at heart. In this podcast, I teach you how to take your Instagram to new levels with great content. Let's talk Instagram. Hello. Welcome to the final episode of season 1 of Plan Create Post on Instagram. This is episode 20, and I decided that it was time to bring the season to an end. This doesn't mean that this podcast is ending whatsoever. I am definitely bringing it back for the second season, and that is probably going to happen sometime in August. I'm not entirely sure when. But I'm here to tell you a bit about this journey of mine in podcasting and what we've covered so far. And I just wanted to, bring this to sort of an end. We've had 20 episodes that were regular and one bonus episode. And it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun creating this podcast, and I plan to continue to do so for the season 2. So let's go through the episodes I did just a little bit, and I will tell you all my thoughts and everything I've covered so far. So the first episode was introduction, so I told you a little bit about what I was going to do in the podcast itself. And then after that, I start with the plan, create, post segments of the podcast. So we had plan, create, and post as our content pillars. And then in the planning part, I talked about different things about planning your content, what to do on Instagram in terms of planning, posting with purpose, etc. Then I had the creating pillar where I talked about different tips and tricks on creating content on Instagram. And then the final one was a post where you could do your own Instagram audit. I talked about private profiles on Instagram, engagement, etc. So when it comes to all the episodes I did so far, I still stand by everything I said in my episodes. Some things did change in the meantime. For example, episode 3 is when I talked about hashtags. Well, hashtags have changed since I posted that episode quite a bit. So before, you had the recent tab and then the top tab. And the recent tab were all the posts using that hashtag in chronological order so you could see everyone. And then the top posts were those that got a lot of engagement. So if you ended up on the top page of a hashtag, it would basically mean that you could get a lot of exposure and a lot of reach from non-followers. Now that the hashtags have changed, there's no more recent tab. There are only top tab and then recent top tab. That means that it is a bit harder to grow using hashtags because people do still search for hashtags and they would go to the recent tab. However, since that recent tab no longer exists, you have to sort of work to get on that top tab in order to get some reach. But there is still way to grow using hashtags. Hashtags are not dead. They might be dying slowly, but there's still very many opportunities to grow. And please don't quit on using hashtags. They will still do a lot of great things for you. I still stand by doing your Instagram audits every once in a while. I talked about that a lot in my episode 4, Do Your Own Instagram Audit. So just go through that and do it yourself. Or if you need any help with your Instagram audits, I'm happy to do one for you. This is actually one of the services I offer. And that is also one of the plans I have for the season 2, where I would continue doing the podcasts I'm doing currently. So I would do different tips and tricks and how to grow on Instagram as a small business owner, and basically how to ditch your own Instagram manager if you have one. So if you have a social media manager who manages your Instagram, I want to help you either not have to hire one or ditch one if you feel like you're spending way too much money on one person and you feel like you could have time to do it yourself. I would love to help you do that. Tracking insights was episode number 5, and that is absolutely something I stand by. You should definitely track all your insights because they will tell you a bunch about your current content, about the best performing content, what to do next, etc. Batching, also one of the things I love. I haven't done much batching since, as you know, my Instagram got suspended. It's now been almost 3 weeks. Once this episode goes public, it will be exactly 3 weeks since I've lost my Instagram. I still don't have any updates on that, but I've kind of been feeling a bit, I don't know, I'm just waiting to get a result. If it's a good one, meaning I get my account back, great. I will keep the one I created 3 weeks ago as a backup, sort of. And if it's a negative, then fine. I don't have my old account anymore and I can concentrate on growing this one. But now I'm sort of in a limbo where I don't really know where I want to go with it. I do know that I want to keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm just waiting for some sort of a resolution, I guess. So batching content is absolutely something I adore, but I just haven't done that for myself recently. I have been posting my best performing posts and reels from my old account, and I will continue to do that until I have some sort of an answer from the Meta support. Then we had episode 7, which was private profile on Instagram. As you know, I'm firmly for putting your profile on public because private profiles is not, they're not something you want because you basically have no way to grow unless it's something exclusive or you're sharing to certain people only, then it does make sense. However, if you want to grow on Instagram, please don't have a private profile. Content ideas are sort of my jam. That was episode number 8, where I talked about how to come up with content ideas. And there are a bunch of ways you can do that. ChatGPT is your best friend here. It can tell you a lot of things about the things that you should be creating, could create, but you haven't thought of yet. So that's still one of my favorite episodes, and I love coming up with content ideas both for myself and for other people. Then we have episode 9, which was my Reels creating process. I still do Reels basically the same way. I do love to have everything written out if it's a talking head reel, and I haven't been posting new Reels on my new account as of yet. There's still all my old ones, which performed really well. And then I do love using B-roll footage, meaning if I go on a travel or if I'm in nature and I love something around me, I will take like a 15-second video of that and then I'll just slap on some text or a tip I want to share and write out the caption, create a cover image, and I'm basically done. So my Reels creating process hasn't changed much. Maybe just the habit of it has, but I will definitely talk if anything major changes in season 2. Then we have engagement strategies, where this is an episode 10, and that's where I actually created my first challenge of sort, where I helped people get their engagement up in 10 days. So if you want to join that challenge, that's still available. And I am using engagement strategies I talked about still. However, since I do have a new Instagram accounts, my comments have been marked as spam a lot. So I could leave like 2 or 3 comments and then the next one would be marked as spam. So I wasn't able to do much in terms of engagement. I will try to sort it out once I have a resolution from Instagram, like I said, but we'll see what happens there. So if you want to join the engagement challenge, the link is in the show notes. So please do that. Then we have reviving a dead Instagram account. That's totally possible. I still stand by that very firmly. If your Instagram account is sort of dead, you haven't posted anything in a while, your engagement sucks, or whatever, you can definitely revive that and make it lively and full of engagement again. Repurposing content, that's something I absolutely adore. So now that I have a new account, I already said that a million times. I'm so sorry. But still, I have content that I posted on my old account, and if I don't like the graphic, I will redo it. Or if there's something that I think that could be tweaked, I will do that as well. But I have my old content, so keep everything in your Canva or in separate folders. In Asana, you can keep the captions. I always write the captions in the Meta, what is it? The Creator Studio. I think it's Meta Creator Studio. So I always write my captions there. And then once I write it, I send it to myself via Facebook Messenger, and I have all of my captions right there. So I don't basically have anything to do anymore. All I have to do is copy the caption, use the graphics I used previously, and I can just post it. So that's it. Repurposing in terms of different platforms is also something I love. So I will turn a podcast into an Instagram post. I will take my script and turn it into a blog post. I do still have to do that. I haven't done that yet. It's on my summer to-do list. So repurpose everything. So post it to multiple platforms, whatever works for you. Then episode 13 was all about engagement pods. I stand firmly by that episode as firmly as possible because I know that engagement pods might sound great, but they really are not. And you will have more trouble and it will do more harm than good when it comes to your Instagram. So definitely don't use engagement pods. Then episode 14 was crafting the perfect Instagram strategy. I love strategies. I love creating strategies for other people. And I especially love when those people see the results from having the strategy. And yeah, that's just probably my favorite part. And you may or may not know, I do have another Instagram account, which is called GPT Guides. So just at GPT Guides, where I started this account back in January. It was end of January, I believe, and I basically have no strategy there. So another thing on my summer to-do list is to create a strategy for that account. Why? Because that account basically grew a bit over 10,000 followers with me posting just 25 or so posts in 6 months. Yes, so it's been 6 months since I've started that. I don't post there, I don't post stories. I have no idea what I'm going to do with that account. So I'm definitely going to create a strategy for myself and then leverage those followers because once you have 10K, it's a lot of people. I mean, can you imagine 10K people in front of you and you talking to them? So it's something I really plan to do something with and create some products or a membership. I'm still not entirely sure, but that's all going to be a part of this Instagram strategy. So if you want me to create an Instagram strategy for you, you can also send me a DM on Instagram or an email. Everything will be down in the show notes, and I can definitely help you make your Instagram a lot more purposeful and profit creating. So let's do that. Then we have episode 15, which was unlocking virality on Instagram. This is where I talked about viral posts on Instagram and how to go viral yourself and what viral for me means. And I love viral for me concept. So this new account I have, it has 100 followers as of now. And I decided to go and post my best performing reel, which had, I think it was around 16K on my previous account with just over 1,000 followers. And since it did well there, I assumed that it would do well here as well. And it did. So it got on Actually, when I posted it, I was way below 100 followers and it got 1,500 views. So that's probably my new viral for me number. It could be 2,000, but I'll see what I do with my viral for me number once I have more posts on. I have posted 12 posts so far, and I plan to continue posting there once, even twice a day for the next month and see what happens there. Then we have a very ironic one, which is episode 16 called Protecting Your Instagram Account. And I think it was, yeah, the June 30th is when I lost my account. So just a week before, I talked about how you can protect your Instagram account, and then I lost mine. I am kind of there's bad blood between this episode and myself, and I'm not too happy about it. Although I know I haven't done anything wrong and I've followed all my tips and all the lessons that I shared with you in that episode, but it still happened for me. So it's kind of lesson learned there. So even if you do everything right, even if you don't screw up in any way, shape, or form, it still can happen. So I know that I didn't do anything wrong because as I posted this episode, I checked my status. It was all good. Then I went on vacation. We went to concerts. We've been to Italy. So I didn't post. I posted stories about my travels and concerts and selfies and whatever. And I know I didn't post anything. I didn't engage with people, so I couldn't have been reported for something that I did because I didn't. So, yeah, that's just the lesson learned, I guess. It can happen, but if you do follow my tips, it's less likely that it will happen for you, at least when it comes to hacking. So you can definitely protect your Instagram account against hackers if you use my tips. But errors happen, mistakes happen, and this one was a bit unfair, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about it, so I kind of don't want to stress about it anymore. So, episode 17 was mastering content calendars for effective Instagram planning. So, I talked all about content calendars and how content calendars can help you, how to create one, where to create one, what to include in one, and all of that good stuff. So, this is one of the I do like to believe that this is a very good one and it will help you a lot. Then I have an impromptu. My Instagram got suspended episode, which was episode 18, and it wasn't either plan, create, or post. It was just my Instagram got suspended, and that's where I shared my entire journey with you. So it was 1 week after it happened, and I talked about the support and how I reached the support and if they did anything, which spoiler alert, they didn't. And it's just, I thought I would have a meltdown. I didn't, which is good. I basically just talked about my journey. Yeah, that's it. And then the last one, which was posted on July 14th, which was episode 19, was the Create Write Killer Instagram captions. So I talked about how to write a good caption. I talked about some examples from my Explore page where I found different examples and what it has the potential to go viral. And then I talked a bit about SEO and how to include keywords in your captions. So that's definitely something you will want to check out. So yeah, the last one is the bonus one. So technically this is the 21st episode, although the bonus one doesn't have a number attached to it. But this was Canva Create. I'm still a huge Canva fan. I think Canva is just amazing. I mean, you can do so many things with Canva, and now it has the AI assistant, which I mean, it's just awesome. It's turning into beginner level Photoshop, which is amazing. You can do a lot of edits there. I do all my graphics there. I have never, I mean, I don't want to say never, but I actually believe it's never. I don't think I've ever posted on my Prolita Media account and GPT Guides. I did post to my other accounts some photos and stuff, but I don't think I've ever posted a post on my Prolita accounts where I didn't use Canva to create graphics. So all of my graphics are in Canva. I even made some templates, but I never shared them with anyone. I think I still have a lot work to do on those, and then they might become a part of my membership. You should know, or maybe you don't, if this is the first time you're hearing from me. I do have a membership called Content Blueprint Bank, where I share content ideas for each day of the month. I share a bunch of resources like an Instagram planner. I also have my top performing hashtags there. I have a list of awesome hooks and CTAs. So there are a bunch of resources. And then content ideas are the main part, where I give you a content idea for every single day of the month. And I give you a list of all the holidays and observances happening that day. So if you don't like the content idea, you might enjoy one of those. So I do plan to do something with the membership. I'm either going to add a lot more value in terms of trainings and more resources, more content, or I'm going to stop it altogether. So I do have a lot to think about. It's not going to stop until December, so the membership will definitely be available until the end of the year. So if you want to check it out, please do. The link is in the show notes. And let me talk about the plans for season 2. So in the season 2, I still have a bunch of topics I haven't covered in season 1. So I do still plan to do the plan, create, post part. So those will still be my content pillars. But I did have an idea, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it and whether you think it's a good idea or maybe it's too much. So I thought about doing a bonus episode every once in a while, like every month or maybe even every 2 weeks. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but it's still in the works. So I thought about doing audits. So I would find people that really could use an audit, and maybe I would start with people who really can't afford it and do it for free for them. And I would do like a video call with them, or I would do it alone. I'm still not sure, but I would audit their Instagram profile and share all my insights and everything I would do with the page, share a bit of content ideas, some strategies. So that's something I was thinking about. So please tell me how you feel about that. If you think that would be interesting to hear or see, I would maybe even include the video on YouTube. So, yeah, that could be interesting, and I'm still debating whether to do it or not, but it's something I'm definitely considering. So, I would do audits for people. If you would like to be a part of that, send me a message on Instagram. I'll see if there's a lot of people who would maybe like to do that with me. And based on basically the interest of people, I will decide whether to do it or not. And then I would maybe also do some polls on Instagram. So follow me there. All the updates will be available on Instagram. So yeah, that's it. I'm wrapping up season 1 of Plan Create Post on Instagram. I'm taking a 2-week vacation starting this Friday, so today for you, if you're listening on the day that this episode is published. So I won't be around for 2 weeks at least, and then I'll see how much work I have once I get back. I want to finish up a lot of things before I get back into creating this podcast. I want to publish all the episodes on my blog. I want to create the strategy for both my new Instagram in case I do end up losing my old one, and for the GPT guys one. And I also have like a bunch of little tasks that I just didn't have time for during the year. So summer is kind of the best time for me to do that. And summer is slow for most businesses because people are enjoying their vacations. They're at the seaside, they're enjoying the sun, they're not really on social media too much. But it's also a great time to do a lot of behind the scenes work, something that you've been putting off, or things that just you don't have time for during the year, or preparing your launches. That's something I'm definitely going to be doing this summer. So, yeah, that's it, guys. That's it for season 1. I hope you'll join me for season 2. The new podcast is probably going to be mid August, but I will definitely report on that on my Instagram once I have everything ready and once I'm ready to start posting again. I will not stop posting on Instagram. Don't worry about that. There will still be content on my Instagram page during my vacation, and there will be a bunch of stories, probably mostly of food that I eat, because as you may or may not know, I'm a huge foodie. So join me on my vacation on my Instagram, and I will see you very, very soon in August. Have a great summer. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you'll join me again once I get back. Bye bye. Hey, if you enjoyed this podcast, I would love it if you left a review. If you want to learn more about what I do, follow me on Instagram. You can also subscribe to my newsletter and grab a Content Ideas Bank freebie on the way. Links to everything are in the show notes. See you in my next podcast.